Can I lose my daddy's name for this?
So do you understand that? And which is why it goes back to this point of trust.
Trust.
You have to trust that I can give you a name bigger than whatever you feel whatever pedigree your father has built for you.
I see.
Like the covering. Because I mean, for a woman, so I mean, my father was something Taylor. I'm gonna just drop it for you. Who is a dad?
Hello. Which Obama is trying to marry and give away her name? Because for me, I've been thinking a lot on understanding, because people throw this word around, especially in this country, be it comes to how you deal with people of different ages, or how you deal with people with the opposite sex, or how you, just everything, business, respect. Like, what is respect? What does respect look like? What is it actually in the reality of it?
It can mean a lot to different people, especially living in Nigeria. It's one of the things that people don't play with, regardless of where you are in life, who you are. So for instance, a great example is, in the States, you could walk into somewhere and be the boss of someone that's older than you, and it's fine. You can call that person, you can call that person and say, hey, Bob, get me those documents, just based on...
I love the stereotypical Bob.
Bob is always in the workplace, so you can do that, and Bob understands that, okay, because of where we are in this environment, this person is my boss. But in Nigeria, in the back of Bob's mind, he's like, wait till they worry this guy.
Do you know where I am?
One day, out of joke, Bob can just tell you, hey, you don't say I don't be your mate. You understand? They don't play with it out here, and in business and all that, in different industries and different aspects of life, respect is very big in Africa and in Nigeria. We grow up with our parents trying to make sure that we're respectful to even people we don't know, even though sometimes we feel like if I don't know you, then I don't need to respect you. But it's the right thing to be respectful, It shows good morals, it shows good home training, and it just shows that you have respect for
others. I don't know if anyone's ever heard this saying. As in, not to shade you, DJ. Where you don't use the word you are defining to define that.
But then I was trying to look for another word. It just means that you it's respect. It just means that you can relate and you understand hierarchy. We don't have that patriotic spirit in Nigeria, even for sportsmanship and all this, because you think about it, if you think about the police, for instance, when you go to different countries and you see their police, they are proud that this person wanted to be a police officer, so he can add some value to the community, to the country at large. But over here, it's just this is what we've been dealing with.
So, job, and they needed something.
Yeah, this is what I just using to get by. So they're not even taking care of me. So no need. I can't keep myself. You understand? I can't keep myself from the country. So and even that comes from the top. Because nobody, if the president doesn't want to face the wahala of the country, who are we to come and carry the cross? So, we need to, I don't know how we can, and I feel like conversations like this help to shed light on it and would help to maybe start shifting and changing it, but I don't know what that big boom will be.
So for me, there's this, in my head is just thinking as we're thinking about it, that respect is earned, but it's also freely given. So it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
In that the idea that you want someone to respect you, how do you treat that person? Therefore, if you treat them with respect even before they've earned it, you are earning their respect. Right? So that idea of I'm not basing, because one thing I always say, because I think a word that's come up a lot in here has always been entitlement.
Yes.
That I believe we have a sense of an entitlement mentality. There will be people that have less than feel like they should have because, or sons who are like, do you know who my father is? And it's that mentality of feeling like you earn something or deserve something that you have not yet earned or done anything for. One thing that always came to my head was this idea that I did nothing to earn the family I was born into. I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. Unless my conscience does not know it. But before I was born, we were playing some sort of like Hunger Games in heaven to decide where you were born into.
That's my family, dear.
That's my own. Unless that happened, I did nothing to earn where I was born. So people that born into more unfortunate circumstances did nothing to earn that either. Therefore, I cannot show them less respect because of where they were born into and where I was born. I did not, like, who am I? At max, my father has earned the life he's living.
That's him.
That's him.
That's what I was about to say. That's his legacy. Yes, he's created a good name,
and a platform. But I have to then also earn my own. We're going to creep into this idea of marriage, and I'm going to start with a bit of respect in that space, because I always talk about this, and one thing I always say, because I talk to people who ask about, especially girls, when it comes to taking someone's name or not taking someone's name. For me, it's the beginning of the level of...
Do you feel that? This is the table is shaking.
You are rattling the cage. This is the beginning of respect or not respect, and it's a weird one. So my opinion and my personal belief is that your wife should take your name. But my justification and my reason is this: it is a symbol of trust, and not because you're not taking my father's name, you're taking my name. And it's a trusting that I can create and provide a name for you that will be a solid covering for you. You're not marrying Adefarasin, you're marrying Adeolu Adefarasin. And what is Adeolu Adefarasin making at the value of that name?
So now, I want to throw a little curveball real quick.
I knew someone was going to have to come there.
So, because someone has asked me this, in this type of conversation, someone has asked this before. So taking your name, so should they now, because it's weird, but just break it. So now, does that now...
Pause hammer.
Does that mean that you can now create your own, what's the word now, lineage, generation, by going, so say for instance, your wife's name is Bimbo, instead of it now being Bimbo Adefarasin, it's Bimbo Adeolu.
I mean, people do that. I know people that
You understand what I'm saying? So right now, if you know...
That's just true. I'm stressed.
It's stressful, right? Because then it's not like, so what does that mean that...
So Mr. and Mrs. what? I'm sure I'll be, so just dear please, Mom.
Right?
Let's keep it one. I know.
No, so like, I mean, I get it. So what I say is, obviously I believe there will be a Adefarasin, but then if people are trying to differentiate between my family and my brother's family, they will let you know this is the Adeolu Adefarasin and this is the Adeolu Adefarasin. Like, they're different things, and there's a level of respect on what people have built. So there are legacies that are created through that.
But here's another curveball. Spiritually, some names are not the best. Let me leave it at that. Some names don't translate or interpret as something that you want to be associated with. So sometimes you might want to now say, my first name might be better versus my last name. So do I now say, because I want my generation to be different and I want my spiritually to be properly grounded in, I want to dedicate my family wholly to Jesus Christ. I know that my first name means Jehovah or salvation, but my last name means Lucifer. So, you know what I'm saying? So now, do I now take my family with the last name, or do I now switch it?
Those are personal choices, right? Because then you understand, because I also know people who have changed their surnames because of that. And not even because the name necessarily itself means something negative, but because there have been connotations of things that have been carried down through that family name that comes from generationally. Yeah. And so there's purpose and understanding in that. Myself, I can say that my great-grandfather, our original surname was not Adefarasin, and my great-grandfather changed it. And so there is understanding those things, and then and that was in areas breaking different ties, breaking generational ties, and there was purpose behind the name changing. So I know that there are times, so it's not that so much, which is why it's also personal. And because when you start your own, if my child if I leave someone as legacy relation, my child decides to change their name, that's because when you do that, and the reason why I say it's you marry and the person becomes Adeolu Adefarasin, not just Adefarasin, is because what does the Bible say? It says that a man shall leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife. Yeah. And so therefore you are starting a new slate and you're starting to create your own foundation. It might be coming off of the things that they have created for you because that's an essence. But if there are things that are negative there, you might have to step away from that. What do you do if your wife don't want to take your name? Do you deem it disrespect?
I mean, there have to be a good explanation.
Yeah, in one good, I mean, like, because it's called respect, so I mean, I respect the fact that she hasn't, so I mean, let's have a conversation. Yeah. So why? You know, like first of all, I'm stressed. I know that I'm stressed. But I think first it's down to communication, why? And I think also, more like
what would be a justifiable reason? So let's understand, what would be a justifiable reason? What would be a reason that you can stand by? Do you think there's a reason you can stand by?
I think first of all,
there's no reason, because what you usually hear is, oh, you know, I'm the only girl or they're all girls in my family, so I want to keep my father's name going, you know, that's the kind of thing. And I don't think that's a solid reason, honestly, because then, you know, like you said, we didn't pick our families, you know what I'm saying? And right now, you're about to start your own, you're coming together as one, so we're about to start our own generation, our own lineage, so, you know, kudos to your pops, but...
Well, table officially broken.
I mean, like, shout out to your dad, bro. Like, I'm your new dad.
I'm your daddy now. You know, so... That's typically the reason I've heard, like, oh, you know, I'm the only girl, or we're all girls in our family, and everybody else has taken their husband's name, but somebody needs to keep the family name, you know, but, man...
Yeah. It's a complicated one, because obviously, you know...
I don't think it's that complicated.
In this age of the feminist, like, there's a lot of push for those things.
The manufacturing company destroy all the timber.
There's a lot of push for this and understanding that concept. There's a lot of, you know, people pushing the idea of why, therefore, why are you not taking my name?
Anyway, I think for me, even like, before we get to this level, just even in friendship, I'd have known, I mean, like, you'd have said to, like, you know, discern, like, I'm not sure this person, because, like, I'm not sure if our value codes are the same. So, like, I'll not start a battle, like, let's not start a journey, like, let's not go there. If I know that we are not headed the same way, you know, like, so even for me, even around the conversation, you must be someone that I trust your judgment. I trust, like, your thinking brain box. Like I trust, like, if you tell me, but like I trust, like, you know, if you're going to tell me, oh, do you know what, it's like, I feel we should move out of Nigeria, I trust that it's coming from a good place, not from a selfish place, or just a sentimental reason. Yeah. No, you're thinking from a place of we than I. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Okay.
So just to back up that argument again from their perspective, are you not thinking from a place of I if you wanted to take your name?
No. Well, like, I mean, we'll go back to the Bible.
But then that's a tradition, I'm not these days. I have to say, these days I'm beginning to lean against tradition or whatever, because I've just come to find out that tradition and culture is really just one person's recycled ideology of what they think should be, you know. So there's certain things that are tradition that I don't see why, right? But a good argument in this case is just that's the way things have been, you know. That's the way things are done. If you want to become an Ajonuma and you're getting married to me, that's what you're gonna have to do, you know. Simple. Unless you, like he said, unless you can your argument has solid facts, you know, basis to say, okay, this is why I don't think we should do it. And it's not from a place of I, because then I know some people just have always, you know, back in high school, primary school, some people have always just started writing down their last name or how they want it to sound.
You know,
they hyphenated.
It's a different kind of name.
And they,
you know,
some people
I don't want someone with their name too long. Maybe something that just, you know,
that's cute, you know. Some people have always said from time they want to marry someone with an English last name so that, you know, it can be like, you know, Tokwe, hyphen, this.
So, like, these things actually have, like, spiritual backgrounds. Like, we are meant to be one. And you know, God has already set the order. So like all these Seun, like no, let's just keep one, like the Oduyale family, the Adefarasin family, not all this Bob Adeolu / like no. It's just too much. Yeah. Like let's just be one. Let's just be one. And like I said, yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna keep on pushing because there's no woman here to defend herself.
Wow, they're gonna come.
But this is what you know. Again, is gonna come back is that these cultures that are set and this is the way they are. They've come from a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
They've come from they've been cultures set by men, and therefore lean and favor men. How do we start to create a duality or a culture that is gives a level of equity or equality for women? But in the next level for me, when I want to talk about respect in marriages, what should respect look like coming from a man to his husband and to a man to his wife and a wife to her husband?
I think in the Bible it talks about how we translate love, and men have to be respected, women need to be loved, right? And that's how we translate love. So for us, we want to be the king of our homes. Men are more ego-driven, so it's almost like you have to massage our ego to let us understand that you respect us, and in that we understand that you love us. On the other side, for women, we need to show them love and respect. For your wife or towards your wife is just, you know, doing the things that she would make her happy versus doing the things that would make her not happy or heartbroken and stuff like that. And that's the ways to show respect for your spouse. Because then, even as a woman, to show respect for your husband is doing the things that make him happy, or you know, just not breaking the ground rules that have been set between the couple, between both of you. You know, I think in the long run is really just the honoring your spouse in the home, you know, and taking that step to securing their trust, you know, securing their heart, their love, you know, just building based on honor. And that's really what I think it is. Yeah, you know, because as much as it is hard, it's not an easy thing to get married. So I've heard. I'm not married.
All of us here on marriage,
we can't really,
just looking with a level of obsession like,
even in this now, that respect thing comes because then I'm sure you've had those conversations with your friends that are your guys that are in the same, and they're talking to you like, oh, you're not on our level anymore because you're not married. I get that a lot. I don't know if you do, but so you know
you don't know what we're going through.
Exactly, you don't know what we're going through. You don't know how hard it is, and even from their stories, you know, and based on relationships that I've experienced, it's kind of, you know, we can share similar stories, just not to the extent of, you know, married people. So I just think it's a thing of honor, like, you know, take care of what's supposed to be taken care of. And I feel like as a man, you know your role, you know, and if you want to be respected, you have to provide, you have to protect, you have to secure, you have to give your family those basic needs so that you can gain, or you can have that basic respect in the home. Not, you know, it's not a thing where you haven't paid for your house.
So
you know
I want to dive a little bit on the controversial side. Because, you know, so we talk about that and there's that level, and I think that maybe that has caused some level of friction often when people talk about marriage, in that, okay, the level of presence that men have in that, okay, yes, they're providing, they're doing this and that, but what about quality time spent with your spouse? What about being present in that way and honoring them in that way and showing and care about the things that they care about? And, you know, so how does that feed into this stuff? Because, okay, you've paid the rent, you've paid the kids' school fees, you've done all that stuff, but now your wife is looking for a respect and an honor that is intimate and not about the larger family.
I think I was going to add that respect for me is really like beyond honoring serving. If we're both focused on serving, so I'm trying to understand, how do you like to be loved? You know, things like, you know, your love language. You know, are you a words of affirmation person, or your gifts? You know, you're an acts of service, or your gifts, quality time. You know, just understanding why. Maybe for you, like I came into the house and I just put my shoe in the kitchen. I mean, it's not a big deal.
In the kitchen?
You know, but like, you know, but like, you know, just understanding why like they're just honoring like the things that are important to you. You know, like maybe for you, like the kitchen must be immaculate, white, like nothing must be left anywhere. And I just left Ribena outside, and you flipped. So understanding why is this important to you, like knowing your why, you know, just so for me, just respect about honoring like the differences, because we've come from different backgrounds, different experiences have shaped us, and also more importantly, respect is communication. I feel like, everybody kind of knows what a man should do. Well, all things being equal, but the how do you express it, you know, and where there are lapses, how do we address those issues? Because that's where respect or the lack of it begins to surface. Like, you know, I don't like when you spoke to me, I don't like when you did this one, So for me, it's about communication and the how.
Sometimes as men, we get so caught up in the hustle.
Yeah.
We get so caught up in providing and doing those things, and it's like, woman, leave me alone. Because you want me to spend time with you now, but then a bill is going to come from somewhere, so I have to make sure that, you know, so I think it's also balance. We need to figure out, you know, all things being equal, like you said, you need to plan. It's time management, you know, and it's also including your spouse into your life, and sometimes into that aspect of your life to say, come and understand why I'm so busy, you know, or let me understand why you're so caught up in, you know, whatever it is you're caught up that we haven't been able to spend time. Maybe it's something we can do together, or maybe it's something I can even help you out on from the outside, so I can understand why you're not here right now. But here's how I'm your team player, I'm your teammate. So let me help you out from the sidelines, so that way I can pull you back in to have more time with you, you know. So sometimes and this goes further to talk about how, you know, sometimes you say life is so short. You don't now want to be caught up with just doing the hustle. Doing the hustle, and then one day you're not there to experience real life. And I like to tell people sometimes there's real life to things, you know, like for things that we do, you get caught up in gigs and traveling and all these kind of things, but once in a while you want to just pause everything to say, I need to get in touch with people that are my real life, my siblings, my family, my wife, my whatever it is, because the truth is, hustling is not the real life. If you die tomorrow, you're not going to take anything with you. You know, you can't even take the people you love with you. So why not build more experiences with the people that you love versus, you know, hustling, you know? And I don't know if you watched the memorial service for Nipsey Hussle, where Lauren London talked about how he mentioned to her that you can't really possess people you can experience. You only experience them, because the truth is, you can't really promise anybody forever. We don't have forever. So I can't promise you what I don't have, but I would cherish my time with you. You know, and that's, understanding that concept is a big thing. A lot of people get caught up in, you know, making moves, and they're making all the right moves, and that's why they're as successful as they are, but then is your success really complete without that human touch, you know, that is supposed to be there for you, but you're neglecting?
I think that was a good Stevie. Link in bio.
Link in bio. Call me for some booking. No.
Wow. What are you waiting for?
It's funny. I want to end with this note or example. Bible says, men love your wives as Christ loved the church.
That's quite it.
That's unconditional.
That Christ loved church is so deep. It's so, like, when I look at it, because it's not just, oh, I came, I did things, and when it was down to a choice, I chose to die for you. Everything he did was with the purpose of serving the church. And therefore, it's that element of maybe you might not understand the decisions that were made, but you should be able to know that in every decision you're making for your spouse, there's a level of honoring that person. That everything behind your action serves them. And I think that we lose that idea and that concept a lot. On that note, mic drop.
Oh!
One more.